Well, today I'm going to paint a scene from the Lake District, one of my favourite places in the UK. And just look at this lovely old bridge. This is probably a Packhorse Bridge where the ponies would transport goods from all these remote communities. But I thought I'd have a go at this. We've got this nice bridge and the pathway leading us into the scene, and from the left we've got this tree which is takes our eye into the picture. We've got the water there, and that's always a challenge. How do I do this? And these greens and the distant hillside. It's quite blued out with those ravines and these little walls and things, in that little house there and this stone here. So I've got my canvas toned, ready to go, and this is oil, water and mixable oil, Winsor & Newton largely, and my colours. Let's tilt this down a little bit so you can see. If I find the right dial, there you go. If I do that, well, I've got ultramarine, French ultramarine, lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, titanium white, sap green, phthalo green, burnt sienna, burnt umber, cadmium orange, cadmium red, and some crimson alizarin. So let's crack on with that. So I think what I'll do is these marks on this board are some leftover things which I abandoned a painting there. So I'm making use of it. There's some marks on there, but I think we can get rid of those. So I'm going to just map this out now. We've got, say, this big bough coming in here, tree, taking us into the scene. We've got that, and got some other branches and things coming here, but let's just get the main geography of it. We've got a hillside here, the mountain, hillside, and green, sort of a green hillside here, coming across diagonally there. Got branches coming out here into our picture, and we've got our mountain proper, as it were, coming in from here. And I'll make sure that's got an interesting line, and it's got to be the right tone. Of course, I've got to blue that out. That was most important, that I get this the right tone. So that's going to be my hillside there. And then one of the features, of course, of this is this, well, the main feature in reality is the bridge. So that is coming, well, let's put that line of the river in, coming here, and our grass here, and the bridge is like this. A nice curve. I've got to try and make that correct. Got to get a nice curve in there. In fact, we should do more. It's quite a steep little curve, and this will all be dark under here. But we've got to get the shape of this bridge, or this Packhorse Bridge. And it's stone and it just fades away there. We've got a bit of a stone wall there which disappears here, and I think we've got trees, branches overhanging here, and I say we've got the river bank. A little bit of the bank is showing here, but I've got to make something of that, of the bridge. So let's give maximum space to it. Green in here, so just mapping out at the moment, and our river, the dark area, is coming under the, this will all be very dark, of course, because the dark under there, and our stone marks. Right, okay, I think we've got it mapped out pretty much, so I'm going to get straight in. What I've got down here is some poppy seed oil and some liquid medium, so I'm going to use some of that as it helps your paint dry rather than taking forever. And these are water mixable, so they dry pretty good. So I'm mixing some umber, burnt umber, now with a bit of ultramarine to get my dark in here. Yes, I think we can step that up a bit. A little bit more umber. Makes a nice dark. There. So I'll paint fairly thin at the moment, and then I can come back with thicker paint when I've decided exactly where I'm going. With this, I might put some Payne's grey in these. So we've got to get that a lot darker. The shadow side of that. So let's get this big trunk of this tree in. Leads our eye into the scene. The advantage compositionally, that should help us. Get the eye in there, goes right off the side there, and as I say, we've got branches coming here. So the next darks. Let's get some ochre and roughly map out something of our bridge shape. That will help. It's not my darkest dark yet, but it helps me see where I am. So we'll put details in here of this stonework. We'll add some texture and some shapes to it. They're quite deep there. All there. Yes. Okay, that's a bit of a start. And actually, while we're in that region, we could just use a little titanium and map out something of this path, or this road going across here. Yes, we'll put some of the bricks on the other side there to help delineate where this bridge is going, the path, the track. Right, and as I say, I'm using these colours that I've got looking around me, and I can use it here. There's a wall that disappears here amongst some vegetation, which I'm going to put in, and just over here I've got a wall, comes out here and down the hillside there. As I say, this is just a mapping out at the moment. Actually, while we get this, we can put some light tone in here with a little bit of umber, a little bit of yellow ochre, just to mark in. A little bit whiter I think we can do. This is going to be a bright area of the water. We'll soften all these edges up as we go, just mapping in the main shapes. It's good to see them just as shapes, otherwise it's all too complicated. You get bogged down doing details long before you should. So that's something. We also got under here a light element as well. Right, let's mix up something that will give us the that hillside all that mountainside. So I've got to keep that fairly cool. So I've got some ultramarine and some titanium white and a little bit of that ochre as well. Actually, it does seem to dull it down a little bit. I think we need to make that a little lighter. Yes, I think so. It comes up here. So I can put some lighter colours and texture in this. I say I've toned it with some umber there, so a little bit poking through there. Can use that. Sort of bluish grey. I think we need to grey it out a bit more. A little titanium there. A little bit more blue perhaps in places. I'm using a Packhorse box. This is 12 by 10 inch, this little panel that I'm painting on. And in my little Packhorse box, which is very good because you can, if you go out on a trip, you can slide your wet painting. There's room for 2 canvases here. Right, now I think that needs to be a little blue there. Still got too bright. Trying to keep interesting shapes. We'll put some darker areas and marks in there, but no, let's not get into that yet. So I think I need now to have I got that mountain high enough? I step back. I think we can raise it a little bit. By being sort of bluish, it's hopefully will push it back into the distance. Now let's fill in some of these green masses. I think we should do that. So I've got to clean off my brush. I don't want to make my colours muddy, so just wipe off like that. Bit of cleaner, bit of odorless mineral spirit. And now I've got some sap green here. So I think I'm going to just roughly map this in, get my masses in. So I'm going to put different greens over this as I go. branches will come across it as well. Got green in here. And we've got a mass of green all along this face here of the hillside. Again, just mapping it in. We'll try and get the tones accurately when we give it some time. And we've got some greens along that. Yes, yes, and we've got the green, it comes right down here to the water's edge. That's quite a bright green actually, so I'm going to put a little bit of lemon yellow there. Mix it with my mixture here. And that gives me some brighter green. Lighten it up a little bit. I think we still need some, I think we put some titanium with it as well to brighten it up a little bit. Yes. There's all that wall. And green is coming down here. Now I need some, oh, that's a bit of phthalo green I've got now. Oh, that's a little bit too fierce. Let's put some ultramarine with it. A little bit of umber to dull my green down a bit. Because this here, we need it a little browner, I think. So I'll take some of my umber. That's it. Some sienna as well. It's a sort of big clump of vegetation here. Projects almost into that wall there. And we've got greens coming here. Quite bright actually. Let's stipple them in. A little bit of yellow. I'll soften these edges where they meets the riverbank a bit later. Right. Now let's have a little review of the situation. Stand back and squint your eyes sometimes. Yes, I can see now where I need a fairly lighter green, a nice light green. So I'll get some titanium, a little bit of lemon, tiny little bit of ultramarine, a bit of yellow ochre. I want to note that's too blue, need it greener. I'm going to put a bit of phthalo, tiniest bit of phthalo. Let's get some lemon yellow in with that. That's better. Bit of cadmium yellow there. Let's go a bit more. Make it a little yellower. Yes, I can see it comes around here as well. That meadow. Can still see, so I'm painting a bit of lemon yellow right into it. A little bit of mixing on the board there rather than the palette. But you can do that sometimes. Right, I think we some lemon yellow. I think I'm going to use a little bit of phthalo green there. Try and capture some of those leaves. Yes, we've got to, let's get some of this liquid, help it come off of our brush. Right. Perhaps I should do the sky now. Let's get the sky in. Then we've got to go for get this darks and this bridge properly done. So we're a little off at the moment. Right, let's clean the brush, get some sky in there. Right, it's fairly pale actually. I'm just going to that's it. That's much more that's coming. As I say, it's quite light. It'll form a bit of a backdrop or a foil for this dark that I've got in the bulk of the picture. All these dark greys, so probably paint some leaves and branches coming down over here. But let's get our sky mapped in really. That's what we need. say that we'll cut into that with some of branches and greens will come down. Let's get this squared away so we know where we are. Yes, this Winsor & Newton liquid is quite handy for helping the paint come off of your brush. Again, we're going to have more branches coming across here. We'll do that in a moment. It's a cloudless sky actually. We don't have any, in my reference anyway, there's no clouds. I think it's just a bank of cloud really. So, because the main interest is the bridge. So we've got to get that done. Right, let's leave that for the moment. Now let me think. I need to I think I need a brush with a bit more control. I'm using a number 10 graduate round one here. I think it's time I move from that, although I can see perhaps I use this bigger brush to get some of this water showing down here. Some ochre in here. Yes, I think that's will help us get somewhere anyway. When we put some darks in as well. There's a broken or soft edge where it meets this light section, but we're somewhere from that at the moment. As I say, we'll start to take a shape when we get the proper values for the darks in and put them in the right place. Suddenly then you'll get some 3D effect really. The edge along that there. Darks under here. We need to get some real dark showing in here. Before it starts to read properly. got to get that big arch. Actually, I think we need to come up a lot steeper there. So I'm using a mixture now of umber, burnt umber, and ultramarine to give me that dark. Get some more liquid. Help it off my brush. That's a bit better. Right. And we can use some of these darks now on this tree. Right. I think we could make it a little bigger actually. I think I've shrunk it somewhat. That's better. There are bits, it does catch bits of light as well. I've got to remember to do that. Right, perhaps that needs to be, so ultramarine again, burnt umber. I think I need a fatter trunk here. I think that'll do it. Okay, let's leave. I need a sharper edge there though. Right, now I've got a little bit of this darker colour. Perhaps I can put some, start to shape this bridge a little bit. And here, bits of the try and get some of the shapes of the stones. Still got some of the stones there. Oh yes, we've got big stones in here. I try and mold them a little bit or shape them. Trying to suggest some shapes. We need something a bit higher here though to suggest these keystones here. And we've got a slight hint under there. A little bit of light is catching. Use a bit of titanium here. A bit of yellow ochre. A little bit too much there. Darken that a bit. And we've got, try and suggest this water as well. These stones that are lying under there, just hints at them. Right, let's leave that for the moment. We need to think about this, how we get some projection of some vegetation as well. I think I need to change my brush now. I want something with a bit of a chiseled edge to it. So let's clean this one off for the moment and find something more suitable. Yes, here we are. This is like a filbert really, or a flat. It's a flat really, I guess. But okay, let's get and put some of those distant walls in. So let's get this, a bit of a chisel on this one. So we've got a wall here. It comes out here. So I've got to just lay this very gently over here. Nice little shape of the wall there. Righty-ho. Well, there's a number of walls that come down the hillside like this. These little sheep compounds, really, that's what they are. That's it. And here we have a wall. So Yes, it's quite a deep wall. Let's get some lighter colours in there. We need some ochres, some titanium, so they catch the light. Definitely catching the light. There's some of them. Right, let's use this bigger brush then to see if we can suggest some more of these rocks here. So I've got some umber here. And some ultramarine to give me the darker passages. But this is a broken edge along here, so I need to do that. And right, let's get a bit more dark in here though. I think that's not reading dark enough. A line along here, yes, that's a bit better. And we've got some dark passages in this hillside. Not as dark as that though. Can always add little marks in oil colour, oil paint. You've got several chances to correct things. But I need some little russety reddy colour. Get some ultramarine. And a little bit of red there. A little bit of crimson alizarin. We had quite a bit of vegetation here. Little bits of yellowy orange vegetation in places, and let's get some yellows, ochres going here. Now we still need to deal with this water. We haven't got that right. Let's clean up a bit. Make sure we've got a clean brush to try and... We've got to put a lot more trees and branches, of course. That will help things a little bit. But let's still need to darken this, I think. I've got a few banks of green in this hillside. Oh, we've got a nice tree here as well. Let's get us a bit of green, not too bright, because I don't want it coming forward. There's a tree there. Right, let's have a look at my reference now. Yes, I think I still need to deal with this water. I think it has to be a lot brighter. As I squint my eyes, I can see it needs to be much brighter. So we'll put some water in there, some white, and that's a little bit better. It's got to be much whiter, so I'll get my liquid here, my titanium. I'm going to put branches over this, so this will be lost a little bit when I do that. But let's get this the farthest away plane or surface. Get that done. Not bright white though, but just enough to contrast with this dark element here. This is horizontal strokes because water is like that. Of course, we need to suggest that. But this is only trickling. Of course, we've got to remember that it's not a great rapid flow, is it? And we could use some of this colour. Try and suggest some of these stone forms. They catch a little bit of light on the top of them as well. So we've got to try and do that. Yes, this. You've got little elements of white on this, or lighter tones I should say. Light is coming left to right, and there. Yes, and also I think now I've got probably a better tone to get this roadway showing. So I'm just going to do yes, that's catching a bit of the light, isn't it? I think so. Road, the pathway over it. Right. Let's get some more leaf forms into our picture here. It's not coming off my brush, so we have to get some liquid. I'm using a bit of phthalo here. That'll give me a we need some dark bits as well, so we'll add some ultramarine to our green mixture and a bit of sap green as well. That will give me some, yes, it was, I've got to put a branch in here in a minute. So I'm just trying to suggest some of these leaves, vegetation here. We have some overhanging here as well. Yes, there's some lighter ones here as well. Set them against dark. Light against dark always helps. And we could put a little light against that tree there. Oh, we've lost the dark. Go back again, put a bit more. Yes. That's coming along. And have I got enough green? That's a little bit coming here. And with the little rigger in a minute, I'm going to be able to put in a lot more details with the leaf. So get some darker bits as well. So put some ultramarine with my green mixes. So I've got phthalo green, sap green, and I can vary that by putting a little bit of ochre with it as well. So I can have infinite numbers of greens. Let's get something. Right. Now, have I got some little greens coming here? If I look at my reference, it gets a little confusing with too much. So I'm trying to perhaps edit how much I put in that vegetation just here before it confuses the picture. But let's see what we can do. Right. So I think I should get in a bit quick now with a bit of green and the ochre before my battery dies. I think it will. I'll have to come back and show you the completed painting. Right, I think we need darken that again. So I go in this direction, it will show a little bit of the round nature of this bough. That's a good thing to try and do. There. As I say, we've got to put in these little elements of the branches, so I think we'll do that. But before, perhaps I can get some grasses here. Just using my brush here to flick up. Well, there is the finished painting of this scene in the Lake District of a Packhorse Bridge. I've added, since my battery died, I've done some work on the little trees that project into the picture. Put some little branches in, a little bit of work on the water as well, and just generally enforced a few items, some little bits that help it read a little better. Anyway, I'm fairly pleased with it, and it's quite a quick painting. It's probably just over an hour, so quite pleased with it. I've got the darks right, I think, in that archway, and I'm looking through my camera now, and the mountain at the background, of course, is a much cooler tone, sort of bluish, so that helps push it back. And also if you've got elements like the tree and the branches projecting into the scene across it, that also sends it back. So anyway, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel grow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.